Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Hawk. I am a senior marketing manager here at Constellation Research, and I am with Holger Mueller. We are here to discuss some leadership shifts at SAP, and I'm going to ask Holger what's his take on it and what he thinks the impact will be.
Great to be here, Hannah. Right, it's a major change in the sense like SAP was founded, often in the documents there it's 4 founders, but in reality it was 5. One of them dropped off. And the 4 founders, there's three guys which are pretty critical. I mean, let's start, unfortunately, longer with us, Klaus Tschira, who started HCM, which is near and dear to my heart. Then there was a technology guy, Hasso Plattner, which basically SAP owes all his success because he was looking in the early 90s for a database to run the SMB companies. At the point, SAP only had a mainframe product. And they knew that had to be lower in cost and needed client-server technology. And kudos to Hasso Plattner. Between, at the time, Ingress, anybody remembers, and Infomix and Oracle, he picked the only vendor which is still around, which is Oracle, which turned into a frenemy relationship, but from a technology perspective, definitely was the right thing for SAP to do. And then there's, of course, Dietmar Hopp, who was a CEO for most of the time, responsible for the financial part of SAP from a development perspective. He dropped out really, really early, and kind of like an interesting symmetry of events, he put a lot of attention into philanthropy, but also into soccer club TSG Hoffenheim. And just last week, I think both of them started to think about what to do. He dropped his ownership rights of a 50+1 clause where he would have the final say of everything happened in Hoffenheim. So I guess the SAP founders going to what's 90, Hasso Plattner 79, are thinking finally about retirement, which is well deserved. And the question was only who would succeed Hasso Plattner, and he picked, interesting enough, a service CEO, who's no longer CEO there, Punit Renjen, who used to be the CEO for Deloitte for a long time.
Got it. That's really helpful. And tell us why Hasso Plattner is so important. What has been his legacy at SAP?
Yeah, the interesting thing is he's the owner-operator, right? Apart from the client-server decision for Oracle, right? He got more and more active again when it was about reinvigorating SAP around building their own technology stack about its memory database HANA, where he was probably in day-to-day design session help. Everybody had to go to Potsdam where he would reside, right? He splits his time between California, South Africa, and Germany, usually in Potsdam. He's from Berlin, so he also is quite temperamental, fits the Berlin mold really well. But started there at the SAP Institute, or the Hasso Plattner Institute at the university, to help Germany to come up with more information science. But he was really, really much involved with his dream of putting stuff into memory, which left to HANA, and it's basically the foundation of the technology that SAP and every SAP customer is using today. So the interesting question is, how would he retire? Because he blew out multiple age limits, which German boards have, or SAP set for themselves, getting older and older. And that's what you can do as an owner-operator, right? He's one of the 3-4 great people in technology, right? On the biggest one, definitely from the European side. You think about enterprise software in the league with Bill Gates, Larry Ellison, and but Hasso Plattner is at the same level from that perspective. Always with an admiration for it. In his video talking about the succession, he made references to Satya Nadella, who said he was not available to be the board member, which is probably, he's too young for that. He's in his 40s. So you want someone in his 60s, which begs the next question. Why picking someone in their 60s? Nothing against people in their 60s, but it doesn't give a too long roadway for the new board at SAP.
What would you predict is going to happen with this leadership shift? What does it mean for SAP, and where do you see them going from here?
Yeah, great question. So first of all, we have to see if it really happens. I mean, biology is a limitation. People don't live forever, even if they work in tech industry, or they put lots of money into staying young, like Larry Ellison, to talk about a fellow billionaire. But it's interesting to pick someone who comes from the services side, and Hasso Plattner was very clear that Punit Renjen understands the business really, really well, except for what is close and near to his heart, product development, right? So it's kind of like interesting that SAP has to hire from the outside. They try to have some technology leaders like the former CEO of a cell phone maker Nokia, who was a star in the tech scene 10 years ago, 15 years ago. That didn't end up so well. So they really couldn't find a successor at the right age range. Bill McDermott has gone somewhere else. His co-CEO, Hagemann Snabe, is the CEO, is on a board in different other places. So there was really nobody available. It's interesting they had to go outside, someone who doesn't know the company so well, knows the business, which is correct. It will be potentially concern for service competitors saying, oh, now it's going to be all the Deloitte part. I think Punit Renchen will keep that really neutral. I think it will be a good sign for the services guys. The question is, who will help SAP with the next vision of product? And that's going to be an interesting aspect to see. Renchen, interesting enough, born in India, grew up in India, came to the US, studied here all his life at Deloitte. I would have liked to see potentially someone who has worked at different companies, maybe different service companies to start. And from all places in Portland, yay, the Oregonians are happy about their tech up there. But it's not the Silicon Valley, it's not New York as a financial place. So it's also an interesting place from where the new board member from SAP is living and seeing the world from.
It will be interesting to see what's going to happen. Do you have any other final thoughts before we wrap up the interview?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think age playing a role. I think Hasso Plattner realized that SAP is in good hands, which is a big vote of confidence to the still relative young, his early 40s CEO, Christian Klein, and his leadership teams. And Hasso can now, hopefully, if all happens, enjoy his long-deserved, long-delayed retirement. So it's going to be interesting if it happens. I still have a residual 10% doubt that something might be happening there, which rescinds it, because despite he always says he wants to retire, he doesn't like his work, he wants to do other things, he's not going to teach anymore, as he's saying, he has a deep passion inside like Berlin people have for SAP and the topic. So I really believe when he really lets go. Let's put it like this.
Great. Well, thanks so much for that insight. And I guess we'll see what happens.
Thank you, Hannah.